This is Fast Five, where our three panelists talk about 5 topics in 7 short minutes. Let's start out with 2 guests at the recent presidential event, knelt during the national anthem. Ron, is this different than kneeling at the football players kneeling at the game?
This whole thing is another part of dog whistle politics. This is to get serious issues off of the front page of the paper, talking about people kneeling. And was it right? I don't think it's right if you're a guest at the White House or any place. But then again, it's a democracy. It's not a point where the president's king; he's the president. And if we're going to continually call out the National Football League for what they're doing, it's part of the dog whistle politics. I talked about your position on God. I talked on gay marriage and on abortion and that type of thing. Gay marriage is now off the table pretty much, and now we're going to put in kneeling with the flag. It's more dog whistle politics.
So let's talk about that. Is there a difference in your mind between kneeling at an event where you are there by choice and under no obligation, or specifically not as a representative, as an employee of an organization such as the NFL players are, versus going to your employer's office and doing something on their time that many consider to be problematic? Is there a difference in your mind between those 2 events?
It's totally debatable.
In your mind?
Yeah, I think it's totally debatable. I don't think you'll ever conclude that everybody's going to agree. 32 or 33% of the people agree, and 60% or 70% will disagree.
I think this whole thing is just a giant, stupid cycle of immaturity. First off, starting with the Eagles players, they've gotten to this point, they've won the Super Bowl, their fans want to see them take part in this customary visit. There were 1,000 people signed up to go to it at the White House. The Eagles players decide they're not going to go. Then Trump, because let's face it, he was just embarrassed that the Eagles players weren't going to show up to the thing, so Trump disinvites them and talks about how, the Eagles players, they're behind kneeling. Well, the Eagles, they were a team in the NFL this year that didn't kneel.
Ever.
At all. That was a big story around the Super Bowl. So then Trump holds this thing. It was a short event. He claimed there were a whole bunch of people there. There weren't really. Just a couple people knelt. It's just a giant, stupid cycle of immaturity. And every time it comes across my Twitter timeline or I see some sort of headline, I just wish people would stop. I just want to watch football, man.
All right.
I love it.
Green Party candidate Sterling Sanders is gone. No more, withdrawing from the election. Ron, are you surprised?
He's had other issues. I mean, his issues wasn't what the paper said, with Justice Treasurer. I think there's several different issues that the young man had. I understand he's a very nice young man, but maybe at this point at this point in his life, it's probably not the appropriate time to be running for public office, because I think he's also got issues with his job as well. So there's
Tyler?
much more behind this than what the paper said.
You know that for a fact about the...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like Ron said, the paper said he has some personal issues to work out. That's why he's withdrawing from the election. You hope he's okay, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not huge. Oh no, whatever shall we do without a Green Party candidate? There's 20 other candidates in the field, and he, especially as a third party, wasn't likely to make very much in the way of waves in the election. So you hope he's okay. You hope he's doing well. Obviously, a young voice in our county politics, but not a huge deal election.
Well, time for a reset. He'll be okay.
Okay, I get that, and we all go through those, don't we?
Sure we do. All of us.
I guess my point, though, is he was an interesting voice, and I watched him on Facebook and so forth for a while when he was very vocal when he first, as most of them are, when they first registered to become a candidate. And I didn't agree with everything he said, but he had some good points. Did you find any of what he said?
Absolutely, I thought he had some good points. I know there was a couple of us, one of my friends, went and sat down and talked to him for about 2 hours just to get his perspective on things. Everybody's got a lot of of input and a lot of ideas. It doesn't hurt to sit down and talk to a good young man in the Green Party, but it's probably just an inappropriate time to get into the political world, because once the arrows and darts start to fly, look out.
So let's talk about Mexico. They strike back now and have announced tariffs on U.S. goods. What do we think about that one, Tyler?
In a time when the American economy is humming, overall employment is the lowest it's been in a long time.
Overall unemployment.
Overall unemployment.
Right.
Yeah.
You said overall employment.
Oh, okay. Mispronounced the word there. Overall unemployment is the lowest it's been in a long time. Black unemployment is the lowest it's been since they started recording that. Trump talks about how these are all great statistics and why he's doing great, and then he goes and tries to get into trade wars that will derail the economy and everything that he's worked for. It's absolutely stupid. Tariffs are bad for the economy. They alienate countries that we're allied with, and they don't even do what they're designed to do as far as protecting American industries. All that ends up happening when you impose tariffs is it is a tax. That is what tariffs are. The companies aren't going to pay for it. The other country isn't going to pay for it. Mexico's not paying for the wall. They're not paying for our tariffs either. They're just going to pass on those costs to the consumers, and average everyday Americans like you and me will pay more for the stuff that we use a lot. And one interesting note with these Mexican tariffs, about 15 to 25% on a whole bunch of goods, specifically targeting goods in the states of senior members of Republicans in Congress, specifically cheese, Wisconsin, Paul Ryan, and bourbon, Mitch McConnell in Kentucky.
Okay, interesting. Ron, what say you?
I like his perspective. I don't have to add, subtract, multiply, or divide anything. He's hit it right on.
Okay. McCabe seeks immunity for Clinton investigation testimony. What do we think about this one?
Well, he poses, he's got some problems ahead that if he testifies and things that he testifies to, he certainly wants immunity to do it. But I don't know how long we're going to be investigating the Clintons when she was under oath how many times, and nobody, it seems like, in the administration ever winds up under oath.
But we're not talking about the administration right now.
Yeah, but we're talking about a problem. We're talking about McCabe.
Right now we're talking about Clinton's problem, not
McCabe was fired. McCabe was fired as a deputy head of the FBI.
Was that justified?
No, I don't. It was political.
Okay, but now he's claiming he wants immunity. If it wasn't justified, why would he?
Immunity from who? What committee is he going before? Grassley's committee.
Yeah.
Okay. If he testifies and he's got another. So
you think it's a witch hunt?
Well, I think they're trying to put him in a box, and he's trying to get out of the box.
Okay.
It's just like the president. Is the president going to testify before Mueller? Is he going to sit down and talk? Giuliani says this. Giuliani says that. It's all gamesmanship. Again.
On both sides.
Well, there's one side now.
No, there's both sides.
Well, what's both sides?
Well, the Democrats want to box up the president, and the
Well, he's done a fair job of boxing himself
No,
up.
that's not my point, Ron. Stay with me here. The Democrats want to box presidents. True or not true?
I'd say that's true.
Okay. The Republicans want to box McCabe in this case, probably others. True or not true?
That's true because of his relationship with Comey.
There's a game going on, and the bottom line is, as an American citizen, we're suffering because these jerks aren't doing our work.
And you're worried about an audit in the county costing a lot.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope McCabe does not get the immunity. I hope everyone's dirty laundry gets aired. I think that McCabe's firing was just, including Trump's.
Do you think Trump has dirty laundry to air?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Do you think McCabe has dirty laundry to air?
I don't know. Let's find out. And
Okay.
that's the whole idea. I'm not saying Trump doesn't deserve to be investigated or that Hillary Clinton needs to be investigated more than she already, has been, which we may learn that she may have to if the results of this probe ever become public from the Senate committee. I'm just saying that I don't trust any of these people. I don't feel bad for a single one of them, and I just hope all the secrets that they're keeping from the American people, the games that they're playing, just get blown up by no immunity, public hearings. I think we should have public hearings on all this stuff. I can't wait to hear what Comey's got to say. When is Comey going to come public with this stuff? Obviously, he's having an investigation and he can't tip off people.
Comey or Mueller?
Or Mueller, you're right.
Yeah.
Misspoke there. It is exactly what Trump says it is, a swamp, except Trump
is now part of
is
it.
a big part of it, and I believe McCabe's part of it too. If you're asking for immunity, you clearly have something to hide. There were reports within the FBI saying that. And another thing that I don't get is anytime someone says, let's question the FBI, it's all of a sudden, an attack on the rule of law and, the injustice in the state.
You believe in the rule of law?
I absolutely do believe in the rule of law.
Okay.
So, every time someone says, hey, let's make sure that the FBI is doing this right, let's investigate what the Department of Justice is doing here, you know what, let's do that. And if there's nothing wrong, then good. We've got good people serving us.
And let's not expand the scope of what we're investigating, because that, in my mind, if I'm McCabe, I don't care if I've done anything wrong or not. I'm going to ask for the immunity.
If you've got if you're going to be prosecuting a civil case, you don't want to go in another case where they take the evidence in another case to prosecute you in a civil case. Come on now, Jim.
Don't argue that a bit. And my point is, these investigations anymore, they start with this focus and end up with that focus. And I don't care whether you're talking about Bill Clinton or McCabe or Donald Trump or anybody else.
Or the FBI
they start with a very narrow focus and then we expand it.
And then the FBI, we're saying the FBI had, they put spies inside the Trump campaign.
Okay.
Trey Gowdy says there's no such truth to it.
And Paul Ryan came out backing him up on that today. Yeah.
Today, yes. And today's Wednesday, yes.
All right. There's a show, a fixer-upper show, Chip and Joanna Gaines. They did some videos, and they aired those videos on one of the cable channels, and now they got fined $40,000 by the EPA because the videos show that they are not following the appropriate procedure for removing lead-based paint.
If you have a TV show where your job, you go in to old houses and you fix them, what is one of the big problems that needs to be fixed in old houses most of the time? Lead paint, and you don't know how to... And asbestos. This one specifically about, lead paint. If you don't know how to properly get rid of that, that's... I don't know what the heck you're doing there.
They've documented their own demise, though.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
And now they've said that they've put in these checklists and these processes and so on and so forth.
Hold on now.
Crap.
Hold on.
They've done that as long as
every
somebody's
house
looking.
has to have an inspection.
Right.
Where's the inspections? How come an inspection didn't pick this up?
It wasn't the inspections.
It wasn't the inspection. Yeah, it was the process of how they did it. They didn't cover
where were the inspections?
But the inspections,
they don't have inspections
aren't going to be there when you're scraping off paint and it's falling into the HVAC unit.
You have to come out and you have the whole thing. If your house was built prior to 1978,
I know, and they scrape the windowsills and stuff like that. But my point is, their point is that these guys were not following the standard process. They didn't put down plastic to catch the lead paint.
That's true.
That is the process. And the inspector's not going to know that because he's not there when it's happening. And if they do a good job cleaning up afterwards...
Well, how many years are you going to watch the films to see that it wasn't done right?
Well,
that's where they got their information, by watching the film. Isn't it ironic?
This, by the way, is our WTF segment, What the Flip Side.
And isn't it funny that this ends their 5th year and final year of the program?
You know what else has ended? This segment, because we are way out of time. But thank you for your comments on that. All right, coming up next, if you watch the Miss America pageant to see the swimsuit competition, you lose. We're back in 3 minutes with that report.